Senator Catherine Cortez Masto from Nevada got a tough race. She doesn't like this. Michael Bennet, the senator from Colorado, he doesn't like this. Democrats, good Democrats. Sharice Davids, one of the more impressive Democrats, the only Democrat in Congress from Kansas, she doesn't like it. So what is my party doing with this? They're disadvantaging. I think they're not helping the people that we're here to help, which is poor people and underprivileged communities. And they're not helping their politicians who are running.
All right, so even CNN pundits are now pointing out the obvious. Democrats are distancing themselves from President Joe Biden and his policies, his failed policies, like his student loan forgiveness plan, which many critics say will actually make inflation worse.
The latest candidate appearing to be distancing himself from the 46th president is Democratic Pennsylvania Senate candidate John Fetterman. His team says he will not be seen with the president at today's event, but he will be joining him at a Pittsburgh Labor Day parade event next week. Joining us now to weigh in is president of Red Renaissance, Kim Klacik. And she's got some thoughts on the matter. Kim, welcome to National Report. Thanks so much for coming on. All right, we were talking about this with Ronna McDaniel just in our last segment here. Essentially, this idea of scheduling conflicts, not making time for appearing with the President of the United States. What do you think about it? Is it just coincidence or is it intentional?
Well, I think it is intentional. As Ronna McDaniel pointed out, Stacey Abrams said the same thing. Pennsylvania is a swing state, right? And John Fetterman, he's got a tough race against Dr. Oz. But he knows that the president, all of these policies that he's pushed thus far, do not make sense to anyone, especially not his constituents in Pennsylvania. He's got to win over Republicans and independents, and he cannot do that with the student loan forgiveness policy that President Biden is pushing. Number one, I don't think that President Biden can do this unilaterally. I think he will need Congress to push this forward. And many independents, they like the fact that Congress is involved in making tough decisions like student loan forgiveness. Another piece of this is that who's going to actually pay for this? VP Kamala Harris, she was asked, who is going to foot this bill, right? Who is going to pay for this at the end of the day? She couldn't answer because in reality, it is us, the taxpayers, and it is going to make inflation worse. And I have to say, colleges will probably raise their prices in tuition because of it.
By the way, what you just said at the end there is such a good point, Kim, because these colleges, don't forget, when you take out student loans, the colleges pay up front. So if your college costs 70 grand a year, that college is getting 70 grand. They can use all that money to build all these big, beautiful buildings. And yes, raise prices because it's a racket. It was big tobacco. It was big pharma. Now it's big university. Colleges, the prices have gone up more in the last 20 years than any 20-year period in U.S. history. Sorry to rant on you there. I want to get back to what's going on with John Fetterman in the state of Pennsylvania. So according to the latest Trafalgar poll, he's got a 4-point lead on Dr. Oz. And you heard it, Ronna was talking about this. There's this notion out there that these Republican candidates, Dr. Oz, Herschel Walker, J.D. Vance, are weak in their respective states. Do you think that'll change after Labor Day and people really start focusing in on these races?
Yeah, no, I was just with Herschel Walker, luckily, over the weekend at an event in Georgia, and there were a lot of people there in support of Herschel Walker. When it comes to Dr. Oz in Pennsylvania, I think he does have a lot of support. Having President Trump's endorsement means a lot. I think it would be great to see Dr. Oz and Fetterman actually engage in a debate. Could you imagine that stage where you got Fetterman with a sweatshirt on and Dr. Oz dressed well in his suit? That's what people think about when they look at their politicians. And also, John Fetterman, he talks more and more these days about things that I know, just aren't true. Just recently, he said in an interview that he does not push voter ID. He doesn't want voter ID because he believes that African Americans have a hard time obtaining ID. And I have to tell you both, I am Black, I have an ID, and everyone I know that is Black has an ID as well. And if the Democrats continue to push that message, it is really going to hurt those candidates in swing states like Fetterman.
Yeah, so true. Kim